Welcome to the show Coffee with CEO by CEO Club Pakistan and Management House, the pioneers of penning down the success stories of Pakistani entrepreneurs. And I'm so happy today because today I'm having a women entrepreneur. So you can say a CEO in heels who is into the fashion and beauty industry. So please welcome Hifsa Khan, CEO Hifsa Khan Salon.
Thank you so much, Nadia, for calling us today and covering us for your esteemed book. So yes.
So to introduce her, I would like to introduce her brand. So the brand and you are same, Hifsa Khan, Hifsa Khan. So she came up with a vision. She had a new idea in the salon industry. So, and I would like her to tell that why Hifsa Khan Salon is so different from the rest of the industry.
I'll just give you this story briefly. So I have a degree in economics, and I was initially, I went into banking industry, but I worked for Shopper Khanam also. And
purely corporate you are.
Yeah, purely corporate. So I was with ABN AMRO, I was with the Emirates, and so different multinationals. And then eventually, I had never planned to shift because that's how I wanted to.
Because you were a corporate girl, yeah. The businesswoman with the briefcases and suitcases and the notebook and the
But there's one thing which every girl's dream of is becoming a bride. So when I was much younger and they would ask me, what would you want to be? And I would say, well, I want to be a bride. And they would laugh about it, not knowing what marriage is all about. But yes, the desire of becoming a bride. But since I had gone into the corporate world and where, you dress up like a man, you look like a man, you feel like a man, and yet you want to become a bride, and especially if you're brown. So the fear of becoming a bride was immense. So eventually when the time to get married came and I started looking for a salon to dress me up, and I went to multiple places and I said, well, I want to meet the lady, and they would say, no, she's busy and she doesn't meet anyone and she's on the day. And then I would look at the brides, different people who were getting married, I would get scared when I would look at them because they had so much makeup on them and
too white.
I didn't want that. I was very scared. So I was very particular about my dress, my jewelry. There was so much preparation. My entire family was going crazy with me. We're all the bridezillas when the day comes in. So eventually when the day came up and they just showed me the photos and the photos looked lovely. And I thought, okay, fine, if they can do this thing.
So they can do me too.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll be doing it. Not realizing at that time that the photos were edited, right? So they were editing down the photos. So on the day when I went, I could see very nice photographs of the place and everything looked very nice. And anyhow, so I went on the day and it was very disappointing. So all that I had seen, the premises itself, the staff, the attitude of that place, it was not all that I was looking forward to. And eventually what happened on my face and to my hair, and I was so disappointed, and I was trying to talk to them, but they won't talk. And it's like the bride is already stressed. She's had a very stressful day. She's crying when she comes in. She's emotionally very disturbed. Everything is working on her. And the salon apparently was like a nail in the coffin where she just, she breaks down. And that's it. The dream that you were wanting.
They all were shattered. Even before going to the marriage hall. So it was horrible. I'm sorry, but was that horrible?
And then they never tell you that when you go for your shoot, your makeup is going to mend further. And when you eventually end up into the hall, you will be looking like a Dracula. So, but nobody is telling you that, okay?
Everybody said that you're looking wow.
No, nobody said anything. Just say, okay, fine, you're done, please go. So you leave at 3, now when to enter the hall at 8, in those 5 hours, you're on your own. So eventually after the shoot happened and the makeup is melting and I went home and then I'm supposed to go. I didn't want to go to the venue. I could look at myself in the mirror and I'm horrified. And that girl's dream of becoming a bride, shattering into so many pieces on the day. Why did we do that entire event? Why was so much money spent on the event itself, or the clothes, or the jewelry, or the...
When the bride herself was not happy at the event.
And it's all about the bride. So I wasn't thinking much. I was just crying. So anyhow, the day passed. And eventually, whatever days I got ready were equally bad. And when I came back, I didn't want to look at the pictures. And I started thinking that somebody needs to break this change. and the attitude that we feel in these setups when we go, and the arrogance that we face is very uncalled for. And somebody needs to get up and change it. So that's where Hifsa Khan came in, and I started talking to my family, my husband.
How much years after your marriage you started this?
Actually, right up.
Oh.
So I said I'm going to.
And what about your corporate job?
Yeah, so
you left it.
I said I'm going to resign, and I'm going to start a salon, which I was laughed on about my colleagues, my family. And they're like, you kept saying goodbye to such an amazing career to become what? A beautician?
Parlor wali banegi.
So there was a lot of opposition from my family, my friends, I mean literally everyone.
So how that Hifsa survived?
Yeah, it was like.
But how you survived? How you said, nahi, main parlor wali banungi? How was that?
Because somebody who's coming from a corporate background who is with a certain type of people the whole day, who are in a certain kind of environment, the people that you're meeting, the meetings that you are in, the kind of environment that you're in is absolutely 360 degrees from when you start deciding that I want to open a salon. And obviously you're going to get all your degrees and education from Pakistan internationally. It's a way different ball game. And from being the most educated people in your country or internationally to being with people who have maybe never been to school. And I remember the first makeup I used to paint. I was an artist in any case, but that was different. Painting on paper is different. So the people that you're going to be meeting with are not your type of people. They don't even speak the same language. They don't have the same body language. They don't have the same education. And just being around in that environment was very, very difficult for me. But since I was adamant to bring this change, that is what I said, okay, now what? And it was very difficult, Nazia, because suddenly nobody would understand why you did this yourself. Because वो तो किसी को पता ही नहीं है ना कि आप कर भी सकेंगे नहीं. Would you ever end up becoming that makeup artist?
Yep. Agreed.
Ever get to this destination that you're looking at? So मैं तो किश्तियाँ चला दी. I burnt my boats and I said, अब जैसे भी है इसको हम.
Before getting it more deep into it, now I would like to know the Hifsa Khan Salon right now. What do I know is 300 plus employees are working with Hifsa Khan Salon. So that's the wow number for CEO Club Pakistan. So, and what else you want to tell about the Hifsa Khan Salon now?
Okay, so now Nazia, as soon as I entered into this field and I started realizing that yes, I was upset about not becoming the bride that I wanted to become. When I was starting to take the girls in, I realized that those stories were way more difficult than my Rona Dhona of not becoming that bride that I wanted.
Huh.
Yeah, so then my eyes started to open that who is now taking care of these girls, and they're coming from very socially stressed backgrounds, and I started realizing that these women are not working out of choice. They are mentally, physically, financially abused. And I had girls from Bricklands. It's a long story. Girls weren't brought in from Bricklands, but girls were brought in to be from orphanages. They had no education. And they just said, we don't know what to do with them. So the parents would just come and leave them with me. And I said, well,
take care of them and give us the money. That's all.
No, don't give us the money or just keep it in your house. Actually, the first thought that came to me was from the Bricklands. And because I was telling you, we are from a landlord kind of a background. So those Mazaras would come and say, Baji, keep her. She's not safe. She's not safe. Just keep her with you. So a lot of times, girls would come to me and we had a big house, mashallah. And I started putting them in the basement. I started teaching. I was learning. I was teaching them when I was learning, and these girls didn't even speak a single word of English. Ab aap unko dekhenge to you will be shocked and surprised. And then a lot of girls started coming in. Not all of them were very from socially stressed backgrounds, but a good 70% of them had never been to a salon. So from that one girl that we started with, and to the 350 that we are now, we've trained them all. They have come from different salons also. They have come from just after doing their, grade 2, grade 5. Some of them have done metric. Some of them have done inter. But it's a good mix. So I started realizing the first thing that I encountered was that there's no food. So when they come, they have not eaten.
They don't have any lunch with them.
They don't have food.
Whoa.
A good big number. So we said, okay, fine. First, give them food. So we started the food facility.
In the salon for the girls.
Then we said, okay, fine, they don't have breakfast when they come early.
Oh.
Okay, so when they're coming in early, there's a problem. When you call them earlier, then okay, fine. We need to
have breakfast.
Then I started realizing, that one day what happened, this girl of mine, who's a very, very favorite girl. And she didn't turn up, and I said, okay, fine, she's not here today. And next day she wasn't here. The third day, I said, no, fine, let's go to her house. So we went to her house, and we literally had to break the doors to get her out. And her parents had left her, literally died, because they had gone for work. She was unwell, she was in fever. And we picked her up. I took her to the hospital. And
what happened to her?
She was just unwell, and they went for their work. They didn't bother. They just left her there. So for 2 days, she was
Padi with you.
And whether they would come back, I'm sure, but then I started realizing that inke medical nahi.
Health. The medical is not there.
Yeah,
so Hifsa Khan Salon is also offering the medical for the girls.
Yeah, so we offer them insurances in the best hospitals, and we offer them free OPD, which means that we have doctors coming on a weekly basis where they get treated. They can bring their children. If their husbands need it, they can also come, and we give them free medication. So, and we have different doctors on board. We have general physicians, we have ophthalmologists, we have cardiologists, yes, if required. We have different doctors and gynecologists. So, we have them for the brides also.
Are you serious? You're talking about a salon and you're not talking about a multinational. You're talking about Hifsa Khan Salon. Woo.
So all of these girls are insured in the best hospitals. We pay for their maternities. We pay for their paid leaves for 40 days. We see to that they don't get into complications. We make sure they come back safe. So this is what we started doing on the medical part. Then we started realizing that most of them were getting very mentally strained because of the fact that they were into legal fights for the custody of their children.
Either kids or the property or like...
So then we started telling them, okay, fine, we'll fight your cases. So if you're fighting a case for the custody of your child, we will help you. So we have a legal chamber which takes on the cases, and alhamdulillah, with a lot of our girls who were going through this, so we recovered their children, we got them the custody, so Allah shukar hai, that was taken. You see, you have to make them mentally secure, stable for them to be able to work. Then we realized बहुत से challenges हमें आ रहे थे कि mental health issues से. So we got them
a psychiatrist.
Well, yes, on board, and whoever needed
counseling
करा देते थे. फिर उसके बाद हमें ये प्रॉब्लम आई कि जिन बच्चों की डाइवोर्सेस हो गई थी या who were widowed, the education of the children was becoming a problem because they were single parents and they could not afford to send. So we started paying for the school fee up to 2 to 3 children, depending on how well she was placed in the salon. Because you have to understand that the average salary of we have levels, right? So there's a level 1, level 2, level 3 girl. We have grading system, we have KPIs, we have JDs. We train them, and we have to
not acceptable,
yeah, so
please.
We have to the levels because she comes in level 1. So she has to within a year or two go to level 2, and then she has to shift to level 3, and then she goes into the management level 1, 2, 3. So it works on like that because obviously you can't make her stagnant. She has to grow, she has to learn, she has to move forward. So depending on which level was she in or how much she was earning, because anyone who's in level 3 maybe makes 150 to 200,000 a month. So maybe for her it's up to 1K, or for a level who's slightly junior maybe can get more help from the salon. So we started giving it out for the education. The children have to go to school. So ये करते करते हमें समझ आई कि we have become a women empowerment center where we are helping these women to,
yes,
and some people say, okay, you're a sanctuary, some people say you're an asylum, you're an organization, and I say no, we are none of this. We are just, and some say you're a CSR project, but we tell them this is just who we are, and
that's who you are actually.
Yeah.
So because of your corporate background, you basically believe that a happy employee is a good employee. And for that, you actually made that environment which multinationals here or, the fortune companies are trying to achieve.
Yeah,
and that's really great.
Actually, you see, at that point in time, I wasn't doing all this because I was looking at increasing the revenue of that place. I would get so stressed if somebody's child was unwell, and I would be going around with them to hospitals to make sure that child becomes okay, or she herself become okay, or has she eaten, or has she not eaten, or what is happening in her life. I was getting very involved in my...
Well, now you know the name of most of your employees?
I would know at least of 275. So we created a huge HR. And yeah, so the HR would have multiple roles there, with HR...
into well-being, into training, into payroll.
Yeah. So they keep a close eye. Obviously, because we call them adoptions. These women are adopted by us. we don't employ them, we adopt them. And then there's a thing about Hifsa Khan that nobody leaves. So
yes, I was about to ask how about the employee turnover. At least 5 or 10.
Well, yes, because they're getting married.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, so they're getting married, or they are, mashallah, one of my girls, she's so trained, I trained her myself. She's like working in one of the best salons in UAE these days.
Oh,
Yeah, so
that's a success.
Yeah. So
you're making more Hifsa Khans now, huh?
So they leave either when they're getting married or they have children or they're raising them and then they come back. Sometimes they come. And I think हमने किसी को भेजा होगा. I just tell them, look, I will do everything for you, but just stay loyal to the organization. So हमारे यहाँ 2 चीज़ों पे intolerance, जिसकी tolerance level बहुत low है, वो एक ये है कि if you are being disloyal to the organization, that we are not going to accept. It cannot be a one-way traffic. We'll take care of you, but don't do things that will harm the reputation of the salon. And 2, financially embezzle. So if anyone has left ever, would be on these 2 pretexts. So they actually were not, they try to harm the reputation. So ये कुछ cases हैं, वो भी बहुत limited हैं.
But because you're living in a world, now you're living in the world of humans, so there are always some human error sort of things around. So I think so that's pretty normal. That's not something big. Now tell me, where do you see Hifsa Khan Salon 5 years down the road?
Okay, so what Nadia we want to do now is we want to expand, and because my vision is to train as many girls as I can, because the idea is I can't be catering to everyone, but I can definitely help a few hundred.
Few hundred?
100,000.
Oh wow, inshallah.
So my purpose now is to, our training center is all set. We take girls on board, we train them, and send them off to departments. So we're looking at, my focus is to increase the number of trainings and have as many girls possible to become socially, financially, mentally, physically able and capable, intelligent souls. So the way forward is expansion. So we will, have company operated.
I think so. You're not telling so many very highs of Hifsa Khan Salon as well. For example, you haven't told us yet that there is a call center that is dedicated to the customer. Then you are not telling us that there is the return policy here in Hifsa Khan Salon, that anybody can come in and say, oh, I was upset. And then you are not telling that you pamper your brides like anything. And then you are not telling that the ambience here is top of the world. And then you are not telling that you are the only salon all over the world that do cater to the appointments and queries and the complaints of the customer via call center.
Okay, so I'll tell you what we're doing. So basically my whole idea was to make the brides happy. And we would do everything that it takes to make her happy. She is the queen of the day. Nobody dares say a thing to her. I don't care. I was brown, fine. I had dark circles, fine. I don't need to know that. I know that already. And the purpose of a salon is to make her feel happy. And if you can't do it, then please
don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't be that. And somebody likes her. She is taking her home. How can you be telling her what's wrong with her? Maybe she has less hair or more, or she's fat, or she's thin, or she's long, or she's short. And it's not none of the salons. It's a thing for a salon to just make it. So we would go
anything, way beyond
anything. So I mean, for me, it's like brides are like, Hifsa, we can't believe it that कपड़े बड़े छोटे करने से लेके उसका shoot.
You do whatever you can.
We call her back after the shoot so that her makeups can be fixed. We give them makeup with when they're leaving. We have created an entire studio space for them to take pictures so that it's easy for them to do a touch-up. We give them makeup for the morning when she wakes up. I mean, we are going...
But I have a problem here. And I have a complaint, and a very serious complaint. It's been 10 years I'm married. But okay, fine, done. I can't remarry just to feel that thing on Hifsa Khan Salon. So that means I want you to make the brides happy, and then I want you to make us queens too.
Okay, so we do that always.
Okay.
Because you see, I used to love going to the salon sets when I was working. So whenever client was and they would make sure to tell you that you are wrong. And आपके बाल ठीक नहीं है, आपका मुंह ठीक नहीं है, या आप ही ठीक नहीं है. We can't do this, we have to be more professional about it. So we created 520 SOPs. That's called the Bible of Hifsa Khan. Or maybe
you skip telling this too.
SOPs.
Okay.
So the SOPs.
520 SOPs.
SOPs which the salon revolves around, and everybody has to
follow.
The SOPs.
Do they remember all those SOPs?
Because there are trainings.
Because you keep on reminding them.
They're reminding, they're trainings, and when I'm saying they're KPIs, so we are we are following the KPIs. Is everybody doing their KPIs on this every single day? That requires a huge monitoring system. As you will understand, it's not an easy thing. You require a system around it. So everybody has to follow the KPIs. Yes, there are options. Yes, there are good girls, but they need to be monitored. So while you come as a queen to get the service done, you would need to schedule an appointment, because we try not to take in walk-ins because we don't want anybody waiting. So you come in, your appointment, so for example, you're here for let's say hair color, or you're here for some treatment called Botox or Keratin, and you say kar de. So we won't say kar de. So we first take your history, do your strand test, see if it is possible, write everything down, show it to you on a strand, and show this is how your hair is going to look. This is, we feel, yes, it is doable, no, it is not doable. And we will say, no, if you can't do it, we'll do it if you can do it, because we are not going to damage your hair.
So it's more like that you'll be doing us consultancy as well. Whether we accept or we don't accept, whether we are only, might be there will be lots of people who just will be walking in for the consultancies. Okay, fine, Hifsa Khan says that red suits me, so I'll be getting red it done from some other salon might be. And you don't mind that.
Because you see, my thing with Hifsa Khan is also to educate the women.
Yeah, that's the best part, I guess.
So we want to educate our people on what they're going to do. So, for example, we saw that when you get lash extension done, you bring your own lashes. We stopped the procedure. I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to be playing with these young girls' lashes. And then eventually they'll be left with no lashes.
Yeah.
We try and counsel younger girls that we're not going to dye your hair because you're going to ruin your hair.
Because you're too young.
You're ruining them. And you come back when you are white hair are done.
Now, one more question. So, who is your inspiration globally when you look at the salon industry across the globe? Is there anyone?
No.
Oh,
Nazia, because unfortunately,
this industry
was never taken like an industry.
Yes, agreed.
And there are no benchmarks. So I travel, I see salons, I try to find the best among them, and I haven't found anything. So even
anything that is close to your heart, or you felt like might be I want to adopt, but nobody is having 520 SOPs. So how could you look up into someone else?
So, I want it to be like an organization where somebody walks in and she should understand that I'm taken care of. Why you see, Nazia, it becomes very difficult for us to survive is because I hope you would understand that when you look at the pricing of our services are at par with what the market is offering. So it's like, and there's a huge setup going on at the back to give you those services.
But you guys are not offering the training things which so many very posh salons are doing. For example, if there something is for like 5,000 rupees, so they are writing down 5,000 normal, and if you're getting it done from the trainee, so it's half of the price.
You're not even doing that. You know why? I would not let a trainee handle my client, because what if she messes it up? I'm giving you a money back guarantee.
Okay.
So my A-star staff is no good anymore because I don't want complaints. And she messes up with your hair, and what I would tell you,
you were getting it done from the trainee.
So I knew that I've been ready for that.
You're great.
So all of that, I'm not going to do that. So either I do it the best. You see, right now, our cost of operation is so high that it would be hard for any simple person to understand that when we go to Hifsa Khan and I pay the same 5,000 I'm paying in another salon, where there's a huge setup going on at the back, in terms of operations, in terms of customer services, in terms of all
infrastructure,
the buildings, the cleanliness,
and the systems.
We have a huge operational cost. And any sane person, for them to understand, while every salon is a one-counter salon where you go in and that's it, and there's nothing. So the cost of operation for that enterprise and for Hifsa Khan is way higher.
Way higher.
But just because I wanted to set a benchmark for the industry, where I wanted to tell the women,
you're compromising on the finances.
Yeah. So I say, fine, I don't mind. Because for me, the whole idea in any case is to put back a huge amount back into the well-being of my staff.
I understand.
So we are not money hungry in that way. And also, यहाँ पे नाज़िया जो बहुत important बात है ना, जो कि आप लोगों को शायद अंदाजा ही नहीं है, वो sterilization को लेके. So when I came in to this and I started asking, when I was learning from different salons, so how do you sterilize? So the local salons, we wash it. Fine.
But so many of them even they don't wash it.
Thank you. Internationally, how do you do it? These are these blue jars we dip it in. Is it safe? Yeah.
No.
So I have a lot of friends, and I have a lot of doctor friends. So we sat down with a group of friends and I said, look guys, you're all dentists, help me make a sterilization plan. And then they gave me all their vendors, they told me how to sterilize. So our entire process is hospital grade sterilization. So we dip it into the hospital grade solutions, we then put it in the steam autoclaves, then we put them, pack them, and there is a very strict control. And the girls who are responsible for it, they're checked every single day that no tool can go unsterilized on a clown. Every brush is wrapped, every plate is clean, all the brushes are sterilized.
Are you serious?
Yeah, all the facial sponges are open.
You should be giving the training to hospitals too, please.
Yeah, exactly. So they tell me, like a hospital, we open new sponges for every client. Everything that cannot be sterilized is disposable. So, देखिए शुरू में
मुश्किल था.
I had my sisters, I had my family coming in. I'm not going to make them give them hepatitis and fungus. तो बहुत छोटी चीज़ है, and HIV and God knows how many things are going to pass on. And we set the standard, and we said, okay, fine, we're going to set the benchmark of how sterilization should be done. Now try and understand the cost of the whole procedure.
And then getting the skilled person to do that.
Yeah. So our operational cost is way higher
as compared to the rest of the salons.
Because आपने ये किस grade solution में? Is it in Excel? What is it? Perfect. And what have you dipped it in? Which autoclave have you put it in? Don't show me that blue light. That blue light does nothing. So ये चीजें तो आप लोग देख भी नहीं रहे. अच्छा, अब आप we are hepatitis like anything. And I keep telling my friends, fine, go to another salon, but please do not use the tools. Take your own tools because this is a risk factor.
Yes.
हमारे सारे जो मेकअप किट्स हैं वो स्टरलाइज हो रहे होते हैं बिटवीन मेकअप. सो भी देखिए गलती इंसान से होती है
और किसी की गलती किसी को सारी उम्र के लिए
और अब जब हम इनकी ट्रेनिंग करते हैं और जब हम इनको सारे ये सिखा रहे होते हैं पढ़ा रहे होते हैं देयर आर लाइक प्रॉपर शीट चार्ट्स एवरीथिंग इज देयर टू फॉर. एंड तो मैं उनको एंड में कहती हूँ कि एक बात याद रखना कि अगर तुम जिस दिन कोताही करोगी ना और जब ये किसी को लग जाएगा और कोई बीमारी पास ऑन हो जाएगी तो तुम याद रखना कि जब तुम किसी हॉस्पिटल में जाओगी ना तो तुम सबसे पहले तुम्हें लगेगा जो लगना होगा. फिर वो डरती हैं इसको सुनकर. मैं कहती हूँ अगर आप इफ यू आर नॉट स्केयर्ड ऑफ गॉड, अगर आप खुदा से नहीं ना डरते तो फिर आपको कोई
किसी से कोई भी नहीं डरा सकता. वेरी ट्रू.
फिर हम इनको ये खुदा का खौफ भी देते हैं कि यू हैव टू अंडरस्टैंड कि तुम किसी के साथ करोगी और ये तुम्हारे साथ भी होगा और तुम्हारे बच्चे भी हैं. तो हो सकता है
यू आर रिस्पांसिबल फॉर समवन्स लाइफ इन योर हैंड.
तो अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह दे अंडरस्टैंड, दे आर वेरी केयरफुल. सो एक्चुअली हमने इस इंडस्ट्री में आके इतनी ज्यादा चीजों को चेंज किया है और इतनी ज्यादा चीजों के बेंचमार्क सेट किए हैं
एंड पीपल कैन इवन आई थिंक सो दे कांट अंडरस्टैंड इट.
अच्छा, फिर मैं आपको आई टेल यू समथिंग वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग. मैंने किसी को समझाना भी नहीं.
हाय नो.
क्योंकि इसलिए नहीं समझाना था
बिकॉज़ दे माइट बी दे कांट कम टू योर ओन टू योर पेज. दे कांट बी लाइक
दे वुड नॉट अंडरस्टैंड. एंड मुझे लोग यहाँ तक कह देते थे अच्छा महंगा है थोड़ा सा तो आप मुझे अनस्टेलाइज किट दे दें. यानी सर ओके फाइन, आपको समझा. अच्छा, ये मैंने लोगों को ना बता के नहीं समझाना था, ये लोगों ने एक्सपीरियंस करके समझना था. सो से फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव कम फॉर अ फेशियल. आप मेरे पास भी आई हैं, आप भी और भी आपने देखा कि मैं जब यहाँ आई हूँ तो मुझे एक पैक्ड गाउन मिला है, मुझे एक पैक्ड पैट मिली है, मुझे एक साफ टॉवल्स मिले हैं. वी हैव अ प्रॉपर लॉन्ड्री.
For sure.
So a laundry set up by the laundry that was set by people at PC, for example. So उन्होंने हमें set up.
The proper laundry you're talking about, huh?
So clean towels आ रहे हैं, आपकी bedsheets clean है, आपके कमरा साफ है, and the girls who go to touch you saying I have sterilized my hands, and hands are not smelling. वो आपके लिए proper sponges खोल रही है, वो आपको बता रही है कि
they can see ना, they can feel it.
अब आप कहीं और जाएंगी,
फिर आप यहीं आएंगी,
फिर आप कहेंगी नहीं मैं वापस. फिर आप मैनी कराने बैठेंगी तो आपको नजर आएगा कि ये टूल्स एक्चुअली स्टेरिलाइज्ड हैं और ये बच्ची नहीं किसी से शेयर कर रही है. आई एम श्योर कभी हो भी जाता होगा इंसान
समटाइम्स माइट,
बट आपको जनरली एक जो हाइजीन की फीलिंग आएगी वो आपको
कहीं और नहीं आएगी क्योंकि सिस्टम कहीं और नहीं है. इट्स नॉट अबाउट दैट लाइक व्हेनेवर देयर इज अ सिस्टम देयर इज नो डिफीट टू अ सिस्टम, टू अ प्रॉपर सिस्टम ना. ओके, नाउ लेट्स टॉक अबाउट ब्रांडिंग हिफ्सा खान globally. For example, you said it, I said it, that there is no salon as far as Hifsa Khan anywhere in the world. Might be it's a very big statement, but at least we can't see. So why don't you, how you're planning to brand this story across the globe?
Okay, Nazir, इसमें ना बहुत सारे, we are looking into it, we want to do it, we want to go international because I want people...
Not going international, branding international.
Branding international and going international.
And branding local as well.
Yeah. We are looking into it. We have hired great teams. I have the best team that anybody can possibly have. My husband is also a very great help in this, and he has his own business, but he kind of gives me a vision and he helps me. We are planning to do it. We are on it. Let's see when we can do it. Because you see, the problem or the constraint this industry gets is कि जब आप staff hiring के लिए जाते हैं, सो मैं ऐड नहीं दे सकती मुझे डॉक्टर इंजीनियर्स चाहिए ना मुझे
लॉयर चाहिए
नहीं मिलेगी ना. मुझे लोगों को लाना है और मुझे लोगों को सिखाना है. सो द ह्यूमन रिसोर्स फैक्टर ऑफ दिस इंडस्ट्री विल ऑलवेज बी अ चैलेंज. एंड फिर मे बी आप जैसे लोगों को कन्विंस करना या टू द पीपल ऑफ माई लाइक्स यस दिस इज अ प्लेस यू कैन वर्क. एंड आई वॉज वन ऑफ अ काइंड टू लीव माई ओन काइंड ऑफ वर्क एंड कम हियर. तो वो एक चैलेंज है और वो हम अभी पूरा कर रहे हैं. So hopefully you will see us.
There are always
2 years, that we will be.
Now, short questions, Hifsa. How do you manage stress then? Two salons, 300 people, and so much teaching going on, so much pressure going on.
मैं आपको बताऊं मेरा एक बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग बिलीफ पॉइंट है. मैं अल्लाह पे बहुत यकीन रखती हूँ और मैं हर काम को उसके हवाले कर देती हूँ. और मैं ये कहती हूँ कि देखें ये तो ना मेरे बस की बात है, ना मैं ये कर रही हूँ. So if you have made me a guardian of these 350 plus girls and you take care of it, because आपको ये भी अंदाजा होगा कि पाकिस्तान में इदारे बहुत तंग करते हैं और औरत को
सिखाते नहीं है.
हाँ, औरत को देख के वो ज़्यादा तंग करते हैं और ये बड़ी सैड रियलिटी है. तो मैं खुदा पे छोड़ देती हूँ और मेरे रिश्ते खुदा पे. सो मेरे लिए बहुत आसानियाँ हैं कि हर तरह से मेरे लिए चीज़ें वर्कआउट कर जाती हैं. और बिकॉज शायद नियतों का अमल चल रहा है, शायद हम कुछ करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं, तो ये स्ट्रेस नहीं है. इट्स अ वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल सिचुएशन बट हैंडल हो जाता है. और मैं हमेशा यही सोचती हूँ कि चले आज भी कुछ बहुत स्ट्रेसफुल चल रहा था तो मैंने कहा कि अल्लाह ताला आपने हल करना है, बिकॉज ये मेरे से बियॉन्ड है. मतलब मैं नहीं कंट्रोल कर सकती उसको. तो यस इट इज़ वेरी स्ट्रेसफुल. मैं खुद भी मेकअप करती हूँ. मेकअप माई सेल्फ. मेरी सिग्नेचर ब्राइड्स बुक होती हैं. आई लव माई ब्राइड्स. आई थिंक आई एम द हैप्पीएस्ट व्हेन आई एम विद देम, बिकॉज मुझे जब वो गले लगाती हैं
थैंक यू कहती हैं फिर मुझे, और कभी कभी कोई आंसू भी आ जाता है. ओए होए होए, और मेरे लिए दुआ करिएगा.
प्यार करती हैं. एंड देन एवरी टाइम आई एम ड्रेसिंग हर अप इट्स लाइक ओके फाइन ये मैं बैठी हूँ और मैं ऐसे तैयार होना चाह रही थी. So वो जो एक
फीलिंग है ना,
I think that keeps me going. So बहुत प्यारी फीलिंग है वो. So with all of that, yes, it's a very stressful.
So you are always very excited to come to the salon.
Yeah.
To be with your brides.
Yeah, I love that.
Number 2. So now you tell me, how about work-life balance? Are the kids and husband all the time complaining?
देखिए ये तो ना जब मुझे लोग पूछते हैं what's the work-life balance, there is no work-life. So either you work or you are at home. अब ये एक बड़ी हम लड़कियों को गलत वो दे देते हैं
कि बैलेंस करो.
बैलेंस नहीं हो पाता. योर स्पाउस हैज टू बी वेरी
फॉर श्योर.
या इट्स इज वेरी कोऑपरेटिव. सो उन्होंने जब लड़कियां मुझे कहती हैं हमने इस फील्ड में आना है तो मैं उनसे कहती हूँ याद रखो कि यू विल बी वर्किंग फ्राइडे सैटरडे संडे. यू विल नेवर बी विद यू हैव टू रिमेंबर दिस जॉब रिक्वायर्स 10 to 12 hours a day. आई डोंट टेक एनी ऑफ. सो आई वर्क लाइक 7 days a week, 12 hours a day. सो बच्चे
सफर किए हैं
और थैंक गॉड साथ वाज देयर टू होल्ड देम एंड ही वाज अ बिग सपोर्ट. एंड बच्चों का बहुत सारा वेलबींग साथ ने देखा. मैंने भी देखा. नॉट सेइंग आई डिडंट डू इट बट ही वाज मोर इन्वॉल्वड इन देयर थिंग्स.
दैट्स ग्रेट.
या सो वो पॉसिबल नहीं है. और ये आपका टाइम तो उतना ही है ना नाज़िया.
तो 24 घंटे.
सो मैंने मेरे ये जो जज्बा था ना टू चेंज द,
that was like a passion, burning passion.
कि मुझे इसका स्टैंडर्ड्स को सेट.
Is it still there?
Of course it's still there. Because ये if it is not gone in the last so many years, I don't see it going. Because अच्छा अभी जो ना game is changed. Now for me, now the passion is to help these girls that I am doing every single day to make them more accomplished, make them independent, see them growing, see them from somebody who was making bricks 10 years back to now she's such an amazing artist which gets international recognition. So that is my accomplishment. And my kids understood. And mashallah, they are very humble. They have a lot of humility. They understand what mother is doing and they are also now part of it. They're older.
Now you tell me, okay, all right. So who is an inspiration to you in your life?
बड़ा मुश्किल साहब सवाल है. मैं आई थिंक मैं आपको कोई नाम लेके तो नहीं बता सकूंगी बट मैं उन लोगों से बहुत इंस्पायर्ड होती हूँ जो लोगों के लिए कुछ करना चाहते हैं. सो जब भी मैं सोचती हूँ ना बिल्किस दीदी का, अब्दुल सत्तार दीदी का, कि इन लोगों ने अपनी ज़ात से और उन्होंने अपने आप को भी बिल्कुल ख़त्म कर दिया. मतलब हम तो फिर भी एक certain तरह से रहते हैं, एक certain तरह से जिंदगी को.
They were so selfless that they were on roads. They were like, ooh.
मतलब इंसान उनको देखता है और कहता है कौन लोग हैं.
और वो भी and this doesn't exist now.
और मतलब fine, I'm saying I want to do this, I want to do that, but to come to that level where you become so selfless, I think that's beyond understanding. And Allah Ta'ala ही वो रास्ता देता है, कोई पता नहीं हमें भी कभी आ जाए. They, yes, truly both of them. I read about them.
Any book that is close to your heart, book or movie, or Netflix series. Do you watch Netflix?
आपको मैं बहुत सही बताऊँ, मेरे पास टाइम नहीं.
But any time.
I read books when I get
okay,
time.
All right.
I'm reading Indra Nooyi life, and it's very inspirational. I whenever I have to read, I read inspirational books. TV के लिए मुझे बहुत time नहीं मिलता. So.
What about movies?
Not so much.
Your my favorite food?
I don't eat that much.
Oh.
I am a very, very low maintenance.
2 things you notice when you meet someone. Or 3 things you notice when you meet someone.
Confidence. I notice their confidence. And I think if that person is carrying their confidence, then that's it. She doesn't need to, or he needs to look whatever way or she. It's the confidence that matters. I am not a person who would judge somebody on what he or she is wearing or carrying. Because I feel that it's irrespective. Yeah. Because when people look at me and they're like, oh, why you wear black all the time? I said, it's easier.
But black is corporate. Black is you.
It's simple. Doesn't put me into any competition. I don't want to spend frivolous money on clothes and accessories. So yeah, but for me, the confidence is the first thing I notice. And I really get taken aback when I meet young girls, when they come as brides, as employees, when they have gone, I say, oh my God, they have everything. I think that's the only thing I'm noticing.
Oh, so what is success to Hifsa Khan? What is success to you?
To have humility.
To have?
Humility.
Oh.
Okay, so मेरा एक ये भी point था when I was doing this, when I was into banking, people knew me in the banking circles and there was a lot of respect. And when I was coming to this line of work, I thought I need to see what happens when you're an artist and it goes to your head, and why you can't stay humble, why you can't have humility in your demeanor, in the way you interact with people. I wanted to see that, what gets to your head. And then when I got there, I realized there's nothing. and yeah, so there's nothing. And
there's nothing.
There's no need to take it to your head, because it's ये लोगों की दी हुई मोहब्बत और अल्लाह ताला की दी हुई इज्जत होती है, जिसको हम अपने सर पे सवार कर लेते हैं और उसमें हम खुद को एक और लेवल पे ले जाते हैं जिसकी आपको जरूरत ही नहीं
होती है.
And I think that's the worst thing you can do to yourself. Well, somebody can be beautiful, she's not going to stay beautiful all her life. Somebody can have a skill, but it's not going to be there for all her life. What you are and who you are as a person.
What is
how you treat people.
Happiness to Hifsa Khan now? Success is done now, happiness.
मुझे लोगों की हेल्प करके खुशी. So आप मुझे कहें कि कल रात को मुझे फ़ोन आया. बिल्कुल कहीं से रैंडम फ़ोन आया. रात के 12 बज रहे थे. उन्होंने मुझे कहा कि आप can you call this woman? She's in distress. I said, 12 baje. I said, no, but she has to talk to you. She has a problem regarding a child. And I said, okay, fine. I called her. कुछ 12 से 12 हो गए थे. हम 2 बजे तक बात करते रहे. उसको उस वक्त स्ट्रेस था अपने बेटे का और वो मुझसे शेयर करना चाह रही थी कि.
So you did the counseling, in fact.
So I think the happiness you get by helping others and the satisfaction that, okay, fine, I've been of use to somebody is immense. And that is why Hifsa Khan as a salon goes all the way out to help people. मुझे कई बार brides कहती हैं हमें शौक लग रहा है कि आप इतनी चीजें कर रही हैं हमारे लिए. मतलब why you don't even need.
Why you're doing it? Why this is not real?
Why it's not real? I mean, are you fake? And then say okay.
Are you fake? You're trying to do it, overdo it, nah.
Then they understand it's not, and it's just like a sister dressing her sister up on a day, or it's like a mother dressing up a daughter on the day, or it's like a family member who really wants to make her happy on a day, that go child, enjoy, this is your day and this is your limelight. So वो कहाँ था इस industry में जहाँ वो एक team. So the team and all of us get together, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the girl who's putting things on her, me. We get around her like a team and we say, okay, fine, now you're ready and go and be on your stage. So वो चीज़ missing थी इस पूरी story में.
Thank you so much, Hifsa, and I would like to wrap up the interview now. And out of 150 or 200 interviews I have done for the forum of CEO Club, this is one of a very different kind of story. And if I want to wrap it up, I would like to say this all, Hifsa Khan, happened because you had the passion to help others, the passion to help your employees, and the passion to help the brides. And the passion resulted in such a big organization. So this is really not real. This is not happening not here in Pakistan, but not across the globe. So I am so happy to see the systems. I'm so happy to see the procedures. I'm so happy to see the audit things which you are doing. And I'm so happy to see the factor of humanity which you guys are doing towards your employees and towards the customer. Mind-blowing and unbelievable. Not possibly possible, but I am so glad, and I hope so that Hifsa Khan will definitely be a standard across the globe.
Thank you so much, Nazia. And for a long time, we have not talked about it. People kept asking me why you don't talk about it. I said, listen, I can't talk about it because nobody's going to believe it. And they will just say, okay, what's this story? This can't be true. How can somebody?
This can't be true. Even at the end of the day, at the end of the interview, I'm not able to. I'm like, it's like some fictitious story, some fairy tale which you are trying to tell me that I'll make up a salon like this.
Yeah. And then only the people who come here as clients,
they can understand.
They know yes, it is. And then we coined this term womenocracy for our organization, and we said this is the place which is for the women, by the women, of the women, and it's for them. And yeah, I have to tell you one more very interesting thing. So because I've worked in multinational and I've seen what harassment looks like in different shapes and forms. So I pledged to myself that there will be no single male technician on the floor. So out of these 350 women,
how many women?
350 of them.
No.
And
we want equality now.
I'm not going to do that because you see, I have seen it. I've been through it. I don't want to put my girls through it. And the only males that we have are known to us, their family, who are working at the back end, and who are the men that I know and understand. Are the two
you can trust.
Are the two gentlemen that we have at the back end to take care of the bigger affairs. They don't interact with the girls. I want to give them that security.
Now this is another dhamaka which you have done now that all 350 are the girls.
And then my friends would come and say, oh fine, you don't have that men cutting the hair, we're not going to come. I said, don't worry, don't come.
No,
you're not having them from anybody. I said, no worries, don't come. I have enough of these women who want privacy, who want their privacy in the salon, and my girls who want their dignity to be maintained, and they're not going to be answerable to any man. So that's another thing.
And apart, a queen when is walking in her own palace, she don't needs any. She must not be scared of any man staring at her, no?
So I've worked with men all my life, but eventually I want the freedom from that too. So that is again one more thing that we do.
How?
So that is one. There's so many things, Nazia. The reason
I think so that we are done with half of the things because
things will keep coming up, but the reason we never talked, the reason I never gave interviews, the reason we never came up was because nobody was going to.
It's all right, but you will be coming up automatically, whether you try or you don't try, because वो कहते हैं ना जो दिखता है वो बिकता है. So अब everything is now seen by so many people that they are telling their experiences on social forums. They are recommending people, and there is this Hifsa Khan Salon is a buzz in the town. So thank you so much everyone for watching the show, and I am so sure that you truly will be amazed by the fairy tale of Hifsa Khan Salon. Thank you so much.